Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon upstairs and on our live streaming. We're glad to have everybody here for our 20th anniversary of the White Coat Ceremony. So it's a very momentous occasion. These are always big occasions for us, but 20 years of this, we're very excited about having it this year. So a couple of things I want to mention first. Please turn off all of your electronic devices, cell phones, whatever. Make sure they're silent, mute, whatever. We're going to embarrass you if it rings during the ceremony, so make sure you got it turned off. My name is Robert Sears. I'm the Associate Dean for Student and Academic Affairs here at the school, and I get the very distinct privilege and honor to be able to direct this very prestigious ceremony that we have for our incoming first-year students. You'll see as we go through this ceremony, there's a lot of circumstance, there's a lot of importance and things that will put upon things. You're going to hear from multiple speakers who will tell you why this is important to us as a profession. And you'll see kind of the first step for your significant person who's here moving into the profession. So it's now my pleasure to ask Dr. Ralph Cooley, our Assistant Dean for Assistant Dean for Admissions and Student Services, to bring in our class of 2022. So one comment I have to make before we get started is, this is a pretty good looking group that just walked in the door. Parents, I don't know if this is the first time in a while you've seen them cleaned up and maybe dressed up. I know for my kids, I almost never saw them dressed this nicely, so maybe yours are a little bit better than what mine are. Well, again, welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to have you here. So our program today is in recognition of dedication and accomplishment, not just the dedication and accomplishment that got each of you here, but the commitment you have made to go beyond that in the future. You elected to enter a most respected and prestigious profession. Along with that, respect and prestige come significant obligations and responsibilities that you'll be hearing more about as we go through the program today. The white coat ceremony marks the initiation of the transformation into the profession of dentistry. It marks our transformation as an institution. As we mentioned, for 20 years now, the School of Dentistry has welcomed its entering first year class into this training through this rite of passage that is the white coat ceremony. As we begin, there's a couple of groups I need to recognize before we proceed on with the program. So would all School of Dentistry faculty please stand and be recognized. Would all of our UT School of Dentistry alumni please stand and be recognized. Stand and be recognized. I would also like to ask any former or current military personnel to stand and let us recognize you, please. And hopefully, if you were upstairs, you took the opportunity to stand as well, because we need to recognize all of you as well. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge the generous support of the Dean's Office, UTSD Alumni Association, the UTSD Family and Friends Association, Texas Dental Association, Greater Houston Dental Society, Texas Academy of General Dentistry, and the Texas section of the American College of Dentists, who have all helped to make these events possible. So please give a round of applause to all of our sponsors. As you can well imagine, an event like this can't happen without the help of multiple people, and a lot of it's people behind the scenes that maybe you didn't get to see. I'd like to recognize the staff from the Office of Student and Academic Affairs, all the people who basically at least try and make me look good. It's a very hard task. It doesn't work very well, but all of my office staff. So I think Ms. Avila just walked out the door, but the people you saw either at the reception, at the check-in desk or whatever, this couldn't have happened without all those people here. There's multiple other people within the school who have helped tremendously. If you don't mind, I want to give them a round of applause too. At this time, I'm very happy to announce and bring up here to the stage the Dean of the College of Dentistry. That'd be Dr. John Valenza. If you've not had the chance to meet our Dean, make sure you do so before you leave here today. Not only is he a dentist, he's our first alumnus to actually become Dean of the dental school, so we're pretty proud of that fact. If you haven't had a chance to meet him, do so, because you'll find out not only is he a smart guy, he's also a very good guy to get to know. So, Dr. Valenza, it's yours.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I know that's kind of weak. Come on. Good afternoon. I had to retrain my brain because every year we've done this in the morning, and I'm still thinking good morning, but we know it's not morning anymore. So, well, on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of the School of Dentistry, I'd like to welcome everybody again to this, the 20th, hard to believe, 20th annual White Coat Ceremony. In particular, welcome to the class of 2022, to UTSD, your professional home for the next 4 years. I'd also like to welcome the 2 new members of the class of 2021 who are here today as well. So in addition to the individuals and groups that Dr. Spears recognized, I'd also like to acknowledge some special guests that are here with us today. So if you'd please stand when I call your name, and audience, if you hold your applause until the end. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Kenneth Horowitz, who will be formally introduced a little later in the program. The Greater Houston Dental Society President, Dr. Ryle Buckley, and the Texas Dental Association past President, Dr. Rita Camerata. We welcome Dr. Jeff Gino, President of the Texas Academy of General Dentistry, and who's the leader of our school's Fellow Track program for students. From the UTSD Alumni Association, President Dr. Greg Alfke, Executive Director Ms. Tricia Fullerton. Ms. Tricia in the room, she usually hides out so she doesn't get recognized, but Tricia Fullerton and her husband Dr. Les Fullerton, Associate Professor Emeritus and past President of the Alumni Association and its foundation. Welcome also to Dr. Liz Hunsaker, President of the UTSD Alumni Association Foundation, and who has a nephew in the entering class. I'm also pleased to recognize Dr. Michael Anton, President-elect to UTSD Family and Friends Association, who along with his wife, Dr. Maggie Krofchek, now have 2 sons in our DDS program. So thank you all for joining us today and your support of the school. So this afternoon, you will hear what it means to join this great profession while witnessing the symbolism of the white coat. But before you do, I'd like to share with you a little bit about who we are at UTSD. I often get asked, what is most important to the school? Simply stated, we seek to improve human health by improving oral health. With patient care and research as our foundation, we aspire to be the best in dental education. A few days ago, I couldn't help but notice a tweet by Forbes magazine about an article by an attorney and speaker, Daniel Scott, titled, "Why Millennials Need to Start Thinking About Their Legacy Now." Now, class of 2022 and 2021, you consider yourselves millennials, right? Yes? No? Maybe? Are you already thinking now, though, about what your legacy will be? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, the Forbes story reminded me of my remarks at our school's commencement this past May, that one of the most important measures in the pursuit of being the best is our alumni and the legacy they have and continue to leave in this world. New students, if indeed those who have come before you are a reflection of what you can be, take note that UTSD graduates have become presidents of dental societies, state dental associations, and national dental organizations such as the ADA. They've continued or entered military service. They've served as chairs of boards of regents and heads of national dental education and dental research associations. They've led overseas mission trips and become leaders of their communities. Some have started successful companies outside of dentistry and patented new devices. Currently, UTSD alums include a U.S. Congressman, the President of the National Hispanic Dental Association, the Speaker of the ADA House of Delegates, an ADA trustee, the Chair of the Joint Commission on National Dental Exams, the Presiding Officer of the Texas State Board of Dental Examiners, a National Football League referee, and yes, even a couple of dental school deans. So students, as you begin your lifelong journey as professionals, know that we are invested in your success and your own personal legacy. But class of 2022, who are you guys? How did you get here? Well, we received more than 1,500 applications from potential students hoping to become part of your class of 105. Do the math. That's pretty impressive. 44% of you are male, 56% are female, and you represent a diverse cultural background. 99 of you are Texas residents, and 4 are joining us from other states. 37 different universities and colleges claim you as alumni, led by UT Austin, Texas A&M, and the University of Houston. Aggies, I thought every time I say Texas A&M, okay, thank you. Just waiting on that. 36 of you have relatives in the profession, numbering more than 75, ranging from dental practitioners, dental hygienists, staff members, to dental educators and researchers. And 2 of you, as of a few weeks ago, are married to each other. So members of the class of 2022 and 2021, I know I don't have to tell you that entering this great school is an opportunity of a lifetime. One that hopefully you've been preparing for, and one that UTSD works toward improving every day. As you've heard about this week in orientation, work together, celebrate your diversity, be involved in student organizations, stay current with university email and news, and when asked for input on committees and other forums, step up, be heard. Family members and friends, you can help by being informed. If you're like me, when my kids were in college, in school in general, I couldn't get enough information about what was going on in school. So visit our website often, follow us on social media, follow me on Twitter, join the UTSD Family and Friends Association. If you missed their booth, it's right outside the door. And for all students, know that the UTSD PACE Center and the UTSD Alumni Association are ready to help today and in the future. So in closing, let me say to you, our newest students, that donning your white coats this afternoon is more than a symbol. It is a pledge, a commitment, a responsibility to serve humanity, to make the world a better place, and to be professional at all times, in all places, real, online, or otherwise. Class of 2022 and the newest members of the class of 2021, congratulations and welcome. Today you can proudly join us in saying, we are UTSD. Thank you.
It is now with great pride that I introduce one of our alums, Dr. Rita Camarada, as Dr. Valenza just mentioned, past president of the Texas Dental Association, to say a few words to you on this occasion. Dr. Camarada.
Well, thank you all for having me here today. You know, I stand up here today representing the Texas Dental Association, and I am one of their past presidents. And on behalf of the 9,100 members of the TDA, I want to extend our congratulations to all of you on your acceptance into dental school, and especially to this school. It's a very competitive process, and in my humble opinion, this is the best school in the state and the country. Maybe as an alum, I am prejudiced in that opinion, but I think there's plenty of proof to back that up. So you all know what it took to be privileged enough to be selected as a member of the UTSD class of 2022. Lots of study with late nights, plenty of extracurricular activities to prove your interest, and a little bit of luck. Interviews at different schools, travel, rearranging schedules, and then you had to wait for that email to come through. And you all made it. You were selected to become a member of the dental profession. Your next 4 years here will be focused on learning and then on graduation. You should know there is a wealth of knowledge in the minds of the faculty members you're going to meet in this school. Use your time here wisely, soak up that knowledge, learn all you can, because someday you're going to be trying to remember what Dr. Walters told you about trying to get that root tip out, and you know it's going to be right there. So make all you can of this opportunity. But what about that privilege of being a student of this profession? The privilege to serve and to treat the patients that will be in your hands and that will become your responsibility. Who gives you such a privilege? And how do you maintain it? First, by being ethical and caring, first and foremost. Second, by continuing to be a student of the profession and striving to be the best dentist you can be, no matter how long you've been practicing. And most importantly, by protecting this profession and being involved in organized dentistry. Maybe the first time you've heard those words. You're going to hear them a lot over the next 4 years. But volunteers of the American Dental Association, the Texas Dental Association, and the 26 component districts around the state work on your behalf to maintain the strength of this profession on a national and state legislative arenas. They also work to fulfill our mission to help member dentists succeed. And these organizations do that in many different ways. You'll first be exposed to organized dentistry through the American Student Dental Association. Join, be involved. It's your first step to being a professional and in making this profession yours. I wish you the best over the next 4 years. I look forward to getting to know you all as colleagues and as friends. Enjoy your time here. You're going to make friends for life, and some of those friends will become family. The next phase of your life begins today. Dentistry will give you the opportunity to be a leader in your community and to be successful in life. Let yourself flourish. So thank you all for having me. Again, I wish you all the best, and enjoy your 4 years. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you much.
I now have the privilege of being able to ask Dr. Real Buckley, current president of the Greater Houston Dental Society, to come up and speak a few words as well. Dr. Buckley?
Thank you very much, Dr. Spear, Dr. Valenza, for allowing the Greater Houston Dental Society to be part of this wonderful occasion. Most of you heard me speak for a little while yesterday, so I'll make my comments brief. I'm here on behalf of the Greater Houston Dental Society, and so I'm representing between 1,500 and 2,000 dentists in the Houston area who are going to be here with you guys every step of the way. Through service, advocacy, and education, we intend to help you along your path, become prosperous dentists, and join our profession, which we hold very dearly. As Dr. Camerata mentioned earlier, ethics is a very important part of what we believe in, and we hope that you will join us in our cause to make dentistry the greatest profession in the world, as we said yesterday. I'll just mention one more thing. The greatest thing about being a dentist is you get to wear a nice, comfortable pair of pajamas to work every day. So once again, on behalf of the Greater Houston Dental Society, congratulations and good luck in the next 4 years, and we're going to be here with you guys every step of the way. Thank you so much.
It's now my pleasure to call up Dr. Michael Anton, President-elect of the UTSD Family and Friends Association, and proud father, as Dr. Valenza mentioned, of 2 of our current students, and we'll see one here shortly. If I might take a moment, as the Dean did, to put in a plug for the Family and Friends Association, please visit them outside their booth. Become a part of the association. You know, if you want to see good things happen for your significant student that's here, join. It's a great group. They do a lot of really good things, for a lot of important things for our students. So I want to encourage you as well to be active, not just join, but to be active in the group as much as possible. Even if you don't live in Houston, there's still ways to become active in the group. Dr. Anton, this is all yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Michael Anton. I'm an alumnus and graduate of the University of Texas School of Dentistry. I'm here on behalf of the UTSD Family and Friends Association as its incoming president. I was listening to Dr. Valenza just a couple of minutes ago talk about the acceptance rate, so I quickly pulled out my phone and crunched the numbers, and it's about a 7% acceptance rate. That's consistent with Harvard, Princeton, Yale, These are tough positions to get, so you really should be proud of where you are. Congratulations on becoming part of one of the best professions in the United States today, and for making the UT School of Dentistry your home for the next 4 years. My wife and I graduated in 1987 from what used to be called the University of Texas Dental Branch. And at the conclusion of today's activities, as was mentioned before, I'm proud to say that I'll have 2 students here at UTSD. Dr. Valenza has assured me that I'm going to get a group discount. Said something about a group home, whatever the hell. So, to the parents, grandparents, friends, and spouses, I'd like to welcome you all to this wonderful school and encourage you to join this organization. The UT School of Dentistry Family and Friends Association has supported the students for over 30 years. I finished in 87, and unfortunately, I think they kicked in around 88. So we didn't get the benefit of it, but they help with things like this, the white coat ceremony, the dental prom, which is an actual thing. I don't know what a dental prom is. So the dental Olympics and student clubs. We work together with Dean Valenza and the faculty to try to assess what the needs are and see where we can help with manpower and dollars. We helped purchase the microwaves, the industrial refrigerators up on the 3rd floor where the students make their lunches. We coordinate 1 or 2 days of breakfast or lunches during the finals to kind of help the students get through them, and recently added breakfast and lunch during the certifying boards for the DS4 students, something they need for licensures. To continue this type of support for the students, we need your help. This is parents, friends, family, anyone. We need you to help volunteer at these events, especially if you live in the Houston area. It's a great way to stay connected to your student and the school. If you don't live close, it's always welcome to get some financial resources. Help consider donations to the association. I urge each and every one of you to stop by our table in the lobby and join us today. This is a class of over 100 students. If everybody just gives a little bit, it'll be a tremendous help. And remember, all the donations go directly to support the students, your students, in their activities. I thank you for your time. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you over the next 4 years. And again, congratulations to all the incoming students and their families.
I would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Kenneth Horowitz. I've got a long thing to read to you because this is one of the more accomplished people that you're going to meet in this profession, and it speaks volumes for him. He's going to speak volumes to you about something that's a very important topic to you. He's a native of Beaumont, Texas, and attended the University of Texas at Austin, where he played varsity basketball. He's a 1961 graduate of this esteemed institution, and upon graduation, proudly served 2 years in the United States Air Force. Dr. Horowitz has been in continuous full-time practice here in Houston ever since the separation from the military. He is a member of the American Dental Association, Texas Dental Association, Greater Houston Dental Society, Academy of General Dentistry, American Association of Endodontists, and the Federation of Prosthodontic Organizations. He holds fellowship status in the American College of Dentists, International College of Dentists, and the American Academy of General Dentistry. Dr. Horowitz has served in numerous leadership positions in the profession at the national, state, and local level. He's a recipient of the Master Practitioner Award from UTSD Alumni Association and was honored in 2010 by that group as the Alumnus of the Year. Also in 2010, putting his money where his heart is, Dr. Horowitz established an endowed fund in ethics and professionalism here at UTSD. Most admirably, he has been gracious enough to serve as this keynote speaker for our white coat ceremony many, many times. Please give a warm UTSD welcome to Dr. Kenneth Horowitz.
Thank you, Dr. Spears. Thank you, Dr. Valenza, for having me back. Thank all of the faculty and the alumni and all of you people that come over and over again to hear the same talk. I don't get it. The truth of the matter is that about a month before this event, I started going over the talk. Excuse me. and I tweak it a little bit, I change a word or two, but most of all, I don't really do anything to change its message. One thing that is good about coming to speak to you all is you all are all getting younger. And I don't know what's happening to us. But I do envy you all. The thing I envy most is that I'm not sitting where you are right now. Because I'd love to be starting all over again. That's how great it is being a dentist, and especially a dentist in Texas. In a minute, I'm going to go to behind the podium, and I'm going to give you a lecture. You know, it's been proven that lectures are the worst way to learn. And in spite of that, you are going to continue to get lectures and lectures. So hopefully, we'll intersperse this lecture with information that is vital to you, that we as a profession would like you to have. There are some schools that don't have white coat ceremonies, medical and dental. And I find it really hard to believe because it's an impressive ceremony. And it's uplifting for the members of the profession, and it's uplifting for the newest members of the profession, because it'll give you something to strive for. I think you all will enjoy dental school. The one thing it will teach you to do, it will teach you to learn. You will learn how to learn. Because when you graduate, you're not going to really know anything about the first patient you see, because there are not any of them alike. So I want you to enjoy this. I hope it won't be boring for you. I want you to know that you will have my open invitation. Anytime you want to come visit our office, we're there 4.5 days a week. I'm there 3 days a week. We love to have people come through the office, learn about wet-fingered dentists. We live in a digital age, but we haven't yet figured out, maybe we will, maybe in your lifetime, how to completely treat the patient from afar. Medicine is trying to do that. Hopefully we won't get there. So bear with me, and we'll get started, and you'll get finished. One thing that's really important is that you are all joined by your families and friends. When I sat where you sit in 1957, there was just the class. Nobody else was there. So it's grateful to see how so much support you all have. I want you to know it's both a privilege and an honor to be able to welcome you as you start your journey on the quest for dental knowledge. You have embarked on a trip that can be both exhilarating and frustrating. Meaningful, somebody's phone. Meaningful and dreadful. Fulfilling and humbling. You are to be congratulated on having been chosen and chosen to be a part of the finest profession in the world. You have started the 4-year curriculum of hell known as dental school. I am sure as you progress, you will experience some trepidation, some fear that makes one dream about law school, or business school, or medical school. Don't fret, don't give it a second thought. I know you will have made the right decision. But what is even more important, you will know that you have made the right decision very soon. The further along you progress in your studies, the more relaxed you will become. and the more you will learn. Being a student is like being an athlete. You can't really do your best if you're tense. So you have to be relaxed. Those first few days are not going to be relaxing, but they will get there. And when you sit at commencement in 4 very short years, you will remember this quote from Henry Willard Austin. He was a 19th century author and philosopher, and he said, quote, "Genius, that power that dazzles mortal eyes, is often perseverance in disguise." Unquote. By the way, does anyone here know the difference between genius and stupidity? Genius has limitations. Think about it. My task today is to speak to you concerning professional ethics. I choose to make this a little more palatable by dividing it into its components and speaking first on ethics and second on professionalism. Why do we talk about ethics? Because dentistry holds a special position of trust within society. It's a contract, if you will, and as a result of that trust, the profession makes a commitment that its members will adhere to the highest ethical standards of conduct. It is impossible to talk about ethics unless the purpose and the role of property and wealth are made very clear. A society where property and wealth are unimportant or considered evil will have no problem with ethics. At the other extreme, a society where people believe that wealth is the sole purpose of human existence will find it almost impossible to maintain any kind of economic morality. Their obsession with wealth will be so great that it will ride roughshod over any ethical system. John Maynard Keynes said, quote, "The love of money as a possession, as distinguished from the love of money as a means to the enjoyments and realities of life, will be recognized for what it is, a somewhat disgusting morbidity, one of those semi-criminal, semi-pathological propensities which one hands over with a shudder to the specialist in mental disease." Unquote. Dentistry has never viewed poverty as a virtue. Substance has always been seen as a challenge. Dentistry places many social and charitable responsibilities on financially stronger and emphasizes the need to prevent exploitations of the weak, as do many elements of our society. Moral professional behavior encourages long-lasting and successful relationships, and above all, loyal patients. Ethics is aptly defined as the science of the moral, or obedience to the unenforceable. This has all been explained to you, I hope, in the booklet you've all received. Ethics is the inherent personal honesty in daily living. The measure of its quality should not fluctuate, but should be steadfast and lasting. In fact, it should be measurable, so as to assure there is right and wrong about it. The question is, can one be a little ethical? Or perhaps the better question is, can one be a little unethical? The answer is no. It is my opinion that ethics is like pregnancy. You either are or you are not. The rub, however, is by whose standards are you to be judged? I'll approach this question from a philosophical point of view and then leave it to you to extrapolate your own answers. Much of what I say has been gleaned from others. Some is my own prejudice, and all is subject to change, just like going from the morning to the afternoon. For our lives represent constant change. My concept of ethics centers around values. How do we value our self-esteem? Should we have thrown out the simplistic morality of our elders, your grandparents? Remember the ethics definition, the science of the moral. Our elders thought life was so uncomplicated that we could always think in terms of right and wrong, honest and dishonest, moral and immoral. As Mark Twain said, quote, "Do the right thing. It will gratify some patients, and it will astonish the rest." But the traditions went by the way, and we were left with a gray area where if we manipulated the facts long enough and hard enough, we could justify anything. We could spin anything. I realize now how much philosophy and morality were taught at home and at school when we were naive. Disagreements were settled without lawyers. Now we must be concerned with the possibility of lawsuits around every corner, even challenging our opinions on the treatment of our patients. Was the naivete of our parents better? That is a question you will have to answer for yourselves later on in life. Since my concept ethics centers around values, then ethics must include a value system. We need it as a society. We need it as individuals. And we need it as a profession. My value system has 4 cornerstones. If we lose our value system, we will lose the first of my 4 cornerstones, which is trust. So far, we have not lost it. Certainly not to the extent that the medical profession has. However, I would put it to you that trust may have been temporarily mislaid in everyday life. Our doors and windows are locked against intruders. Some patients in our practice, as well as non-patient entities, are questioning our diagnoses, our treatment, our fees, and even whether persons other than doctors can perform treatment. So trust in each other and know that only good can come from that trust. We must accept the age of consumerism, not as an absolute entity, but as a way to foster education to the public we serve. This must be done in such a way that they will realize and accept our limitations and our uncertainties, while at the same time they will glory in our abilities to work minor miracles immediately, with the major ones taking a few hours. You must stay on the right track while you're in school and embed this trustworthiness in yourself so deeply that it can never be removed. The second cornerstone is truth. I say be wary when telling the truth becomes secondary rather than an integral part and purpose of dental information. Truth itself is a dynamic entity. It is never absolute and is inseparable from honesty. In your dealings with your fellow students, your faculty, your families and your friends, and later on with your patients and colleagues, never falter from truth and honesty, regardless of the temptations. Add a new fact, and truth does not change, but our perception of truth may. So gather information, acquire knowledge, that's what you're here for knowledge is power. In his Ethics of Belief, W.K. Clifford tells us that, quote, "We have no right to determine values on incomplete information," unquote. This leads us to our third cornerstone, which is intelligent thought. It is the first step to greatness. It precedes and supersedes talent. Many people have talent, but never become great. Many are called, but few are able to serve. We all have thought processes. But what is intelligent thought? And how does it affect us ethically? To make you think, Ponder your decisions over the next few weeks, your first in dental school. Will intelligent thoughtfulness contribute to your decision making? Believe me, as difficult as it is now, the process will be more difficult in 4 years. Our fourth cornerstone is honor, a good name or public esteem, a person of superior standing, one whose worth brings respect. Remember, there is no honor among thieves. I remember when the honor system was employed at this school. No proctors doing exams. Why did we stop? Maybe because honor has to do with self and colleagues. One has to honor oneself and one's profession above all. The honor system requires that if someone breaks that code or strays, they must say so. And also, one has to tell if someone else breaks the code. It is a lofty goal. Unfortunately, we have adopted a different way of thinking. The statement, never rat on a dishonest colleague, translates to never rat on a rat. If I allow my colleague to be dishonest, then I am dishonored, and my profession is dishonored. This is heavy stuff, this honor, this idea of professional ethics. Ethics must come from your own value system. Ethical principles may change over time. But changes should evolve gradually and not appear whimsical. We as people of the healing arts have lived with the science of the moral, from Maimonides and Hammurabi to the Dentist's Pledge. From the ancient Hebrew writings, the ethics of our fathers, to the new codes of professional conduct and ethics of the American Dental Association. Compliance with these ethical principles, passed down through the years, is a moral obligation of all dentists. We in the Alumni Association are here to help you in your quest for these ethical values. We honor you. We are intelligently thinking of you. We trust you, and that is the truth. But what of professionalism? Defined as professional character, spirit, or methods. I would submit to you that there is a difference between a trade and a profession, and I believe it is professionalism. We look upon one another as colleagues, not competitors. We are servants, not merchants. We provide services, not commodities. And our allegiance is to mankind, not to material wealth. It seems to some of us that we have come full circle from the dentistry of the earliest 20th century. Then, crass commercialism permeated much of dentistry. Most dental education was proprietary. Advertising was rampant, and many practitioners were involved in dental commercial ventures. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Dr. L.D. Pankey defined professionalism as, quote, that quality of conduct which accompanies the use of superior knowledge, care, skill, and judgment toward the benefits of another person or a society prior to the consideration of self-interest, unquote. So what will I say to you that will make you think about your future acts of professionalism? I will say that professionalism is measured by relationships, and there are 4 relationships you must consider. Number 1, the doctor-patient relationship, the most important of the 4. Be cognizant of the duty of the dentist to the patient, that it is more than just an obligation incurred by a contractual agreement between 2 parties, which it is. Your relationship must adhere to the highest principles of education, skill, judgment, and concern, and you must not compromise your principles for ego or for wealth. You must be realistically idealistic in the treatment of your fellow man. Number 2, the doctor-doctor relationship. You can start that relationship now because you're surrounded by your colleagues, not your competitors. Help each other and help yourselves. Be generous with your knowledge and do not fail to come to a colleague's aid. Always remember to give each other the benefit of the doubt and do not be quick to criticize. Number 3, the doctor-patient, the doctor-profession relationship. Contribute your time and your effort to your profession and always speak highly of it. To denigrate your profession is to denigrate yourself. Present your profession at its best and you elevate yourself to new heights. And number 4, the doctor-community relationship. Professionals put back into the community in which they live that which is commensurate with their position. This is done by charity work, community service, involvement beyond the average commitment. If professionalism is the descriptive action of learned professionals, then what constitutes a learned professional? Someone you will become. Number 1, education beyond the usual level. The dentist not committed to lifelong learning and change in practice strategies has difficulty practicing ethically. The right to autonomy. This translates to self-improvement and self-regulation, and the right to share that with others. And number 3, service to humanity. We have a duty to recognize the reciprocity of the relationship that exists with society and the duty of conventional fidelity. That is your commitment. It is a huge task being a member of a profession and adhering to its professional ethics. This science of the moral, this obedience to the unenforceable. There are many detractors that will be pulling at you, at all of you. First as you go through dental school, and then as you progress through your practice life. Hold on to your ideals. Look forward and set your standards high. Do not listen to the doom and gloom people. The world has always been in turmoil. The state of the economy, political controversy, international intrigue are the same chapters of history which have been rewritten many times with very little change except the cast of characters. So dwell not upon all that is feared, but look to your own values, and there will be no problem with ethics. And if all else fails, look to the golden rule, for it tells it all. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But listen carefully. If we reinforce the notion that the golden rule has been changed to read, those that have the gold make the rules, or that doctors should weed out patients who are difficult or challenging, and that the business of dentistry is business, we shall reap what we sow. When dentists become merchants, patients become customers, and truth becomes the loser. Our challenge is to get inside of our brains. Know that our actions are a direct reflection on our parents and loved ones. They suffer if we are untruthful, untrustworthy, or unethical. Whether we are legal or not is no excuse to them. Should we offer more ethics teaching in dental schools? Some say yes, some say no, reasoning that lectures are boring, just like this one, and don't seem to change the way an individual thinks of himself or of herself. We at your school disagree. Repetition is how children is how humans learn, but it's also how children learn. We must repeat these ideas over and over, again and again. Integrity demands honesty. even when it is contrary to business or professional advantage. And when you are struggling to get your requirements, you don't know what that is yet, or make career decisions, and you need the courage of your convictions, remember this quote from Teddy Roosevelt. It's a favorite of mine. It goes like this, quote, "It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbled and fell, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, and at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievements, and who at worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." Unquote. As there is in every worthwhile endeavor, there is a price to pay for the privilege of being a part of this profession. So remember this idea if you remember nothing else from today. Quote, "Whatsoever ye want, O discontented man, step up, pay the price, and take it." In conclusion, I want to talk about moral courage. The question I would pose is this: how many of you will possess the moral courage to be an ethical professional? To stand up and be counted in the face of an unpopular cause, especially one that calls for self-sacrifice, material loss, and the possible recrimination of your colleagues. Moral courage requires that we face the deeper and more dangerous internal threat of exposing our ethical positions to examination and scrutiny. The question you will ponder over the next few years at least, and maybe longer, is that the future of our profession is in your hands. Treat it thoughtfully and not without fear of making wrong decisions. Trust your instinct and let truth be your guiding light. Having said all this, I would like to interject this caveat. Ethics, this science of the moral, this obedience to the unenforceable, does not mean perfection. Given the imperfection of our human race, tolerance to that imperfection must be a part of your ethical makeup. Humans stray from the path of perfection in many ways, many times during our lifetimes. So perfection is not the goal of ethics. Knowledge of this science of morality, and the tolerance of ourselves and others when we stray, is our goal. We must pursue that goal intelligently, enthusiastically, and with fortitude, never losing the purpose of ethical thinking in the mire of imperfection and intolerance. These concepts are not new ones. The Tao Te Ching is a collection of poems written in China 2,500 years ago. Number 38 says roughly, quote, "When the way is lost, there is ethics. When ethics is lost, there is formal right, professionalism. And when that is lost, there is erectitude, chaos. And erectitude is the beginning of disorder." Unquote. In closing, thank God, I know you're saying. By the way, the dean has informed me that for the first time, we are going to provide you all, whether you want it or not, a copy of these remarks. You'll get them Monday, is that right? You can throw them in a wastebasket if you want to, or use it for other means if you want. But I would urge you to keep it for later scrutiny. you might want to look it up and see what was said. You'll probably remember something was said, but this will give you a chance to really look and see what was said. My career has been summed up in a paraphrase of a George Bernard Shaw quote that says, "Dentistry is no brief candle for me. It is a sort of splendid torch. I have gotten hold of it for a moment, and I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it off to future generations." Thank you for your time, and good luck in our profession.
Thank you so much, Dr. Horowitz. Okay, it's now time for us to begin the coding process. Professional attitudes, ethical behavior are critical attributes of this profession. As you've heard so much so far, the White Code elicits the high expectations that patients have of the doctor-patient relationship by establishing the meaning of this ritual at the beginning of your professional journey. We expect to pique your awareness of the responsibilities from day one. The ceremony is intended to impress upon you the importance of the doctor-patient relationship. As you accept the code of this mantle of the profession, you also accept the obligations inherent in the practice of dentistry to pursue excellence in patient management and care, to be compassionate, and to maintain the honor and dignity of the profession. It is truly a privilege to welcome you to the profession of the school and to our dentistry family. For those of you in the audience upstairs, you'll notice a list of our White Coat sponsors in your program. It's now my privilege to announce our new colleagues, and I would also ask that Dr. Les Fullerton direct our first coders to the stage. Class of 2022, will you please stand up and come forward? First row, please. Michael Akinyaye. It's okay to clap. Sage Nikesh Amin. Michael Benjamin Andrews. Sam Michael Antone. He'll be coded by his father, Dr. Michael Antone, and his mother, Dr. Maggie Kropchak, both UTSD alums from 1987. Arash Ashuri. Joshua Stephen Baer. Asalia Assad Bulos. Rachel Kai.
Dr. Cruz.
Those darn stickers. J. Thomas Colucci.
Is your dad here?
Megan Lee Crocker. Giancarlo Cruz. Carlos Cruz, UTSD alum, 1995.
Dr. Camerata and Dr. Marks.
Stacy Deep. Kelly Han Den. Dominic Jacob DeRusso. Marlena Dobbs. Dylan Durgach. Dylan is written by his father, Dr. Lane Durgach, and by Dr. Rod Dodge. I should say for Dr. Dodge, UTSD 76.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Dr. Eberline and Dr. Fry.
Jocelyn Duarte. Thea Marie Everline. Thea will be voted by her father, Dr. Kyle Everline. Mina Elahidust. Mary Elliott. Ibrahim El Yamani. Elizabeth Ann England. Elizabeth was lived by her father, Dr. Preston Cutbirth, UTSD alum from 1990. Joshua Nathan England. Joshua will be played by his father-in-law, Dr. Preston Cutbirth. Yes, this is our married couple. Ryan Parker Fahmy.
Dr. Falls, Dr. Gina. You do this. Okay. Good.
Noah Benjamin Falls. Noah will be played by his father, Dr. David Falls. Anna Fang. You can see the versatility that is our dean. Rachel Finelli. Jonathan George. Jonathan was having a problem all those muscular guys have. Having a hard time putting that coat on. Yeah. Joshua George. And yes.
Dr. Piazza and Dr. Bogan.
Carlos Gowan. Karen Graywell. Amira Hyder. Matthew Hoffman.
Everybody's coming out of trouble like so I have to get it out now. I'll come out afterwards.
Triple T.
Thank you.
Winston Allen Heath III.
You can get your one. Thank you. Okay, Dr. Heaton and Dr. G.
Kimberly Marie Heaton. Kimberly played by Dr. Ann Chi, UTSD 1984, and her father, Dr. Barry Heaton, UST 1980.
Dr. Miles. Is it Barry? Barry. Need you to stay.
John Kenneth Herchuk. Landon Val Hershey. Landon will be coached by his brother-in-law, Dr. Josh Miles. Paulina Yawin Poe. Paulina was coached by her mother, Dr. Mai Tran Wynn, and by her aunt, Dr. Tu Tui Wynn. UTSD 1991 and 1989.
Thanks. Thank you.
Kimberly Huang. Chaeyu Shu. Jillian Marie Huffman. Chance August Hunsaker. Dr. Keely Riddle Hunsaker, UTSD 1985, and by his aunt, Dr. Elizabeth Hunsaker.
Stay here.
Blake Hutzler. Samuel Johnson. Samuel, voted by his father, Dr. George Johnson Jr. Lucia Karam. Elizabeth Marie Carcourt.
Is your mom here? And Dr. Lee?
Duyong Kim. Duyong is going to be covered by his mother. Lijin Lee, this is in honor of his father, Dr. Philip Kim, who passed away. So, very nice. Eric Lee. Eric from his uncle, Dr. Yao Lee, UTSD 2011. Raymond Liu. Taylor Tran Ma. Selma Mahmood.
Dr. Halsky and Dr. Long.
Van On Swan Tai. Kieran Magnogia. Juliana Joe Masabni. Clinton Atkins.
These are two dignitaries. These are big guys.
Victoria Brianna McGuffin. Patrick J. Mendez.
Dr. Grandma, Dr. Gonzalez.
For those of the students kind of towards the back, we're getting closer. Everybody down here looks bored. Y'all still look very excited. Daniel Philip Mendoza. Simone Ann Menezes. Ashley Morgan Miller. Caroline Elizabeth Miller. Daisy Montano. Ali Naji.
Our next cover is Dr. Sierra and Dr. Walters.
Sarah Nawaz. Clayton Tran Nguyen. Tori Nguyen. Vivian Tran Nguyen. Vivian Nguyen Harris.
Next cover is Dr. Collins and Dr. Hyman.
Mary Jocelyn Elise Mendoza Nispasan. Patricia Aranza Nunez. Dr. Marlene Sanchez. Elvira Nora.
We did read
Bryce Allen O'Donnell.
Next cover is Dr. Lee and Dr. Lay.
Sarah Elizabeth Ohm. Sarah will be included from my uncle, Dr. Clyde Lee, and her aunt, Dr. Julie Lee. Christopher Luis Orozco.
Hard work.
Andrea Olivia Pajarillo. Chandler Amy Lynn Pruitt. Claudia Alejandra Pruneda.
Next comes Dr. Betty and Dr. Wesson.
Holmes Salim Quadri. Zara Mustafa Rasul. Anish Reddy. Anish Reddy is Shailajah Reddy. Dane Craig Reisinger. Dane began his training with his father, Dr. Donald Reisinger, UTSD 1988.
Next coders are Dr. Fry, Dr. Durjak.
John Caleb Russell. Nada Syed. Laura Michelle Santosalvo. Monica Elaine Skotka. Anne Marie Seelbach.
Voters for Dr. Leska and Dr. Leska.
Edward Anthony Samuels. Sister Dr. Emily Liska and brother-in-law Dr. Justin Liska, UTSD 2011. Heidi Ann Shea. Nirja Shrestha. Jordan Michelle Smith. Amber Renee Stevens.
Dr. LaFong and Dr. Parker.
Tyler Ames Stalker. Christy May Tran. Christy will be played by President Dr. Andrew Equine. Tina Tran. Tammy Mylon Trent. Michelle Tugha Trong. Rebecca Ann Bond. Grandfather, Dr. Thomas A. Parker.
Dr. Gao and Dr. Wong.
Nicholas Jelks Ward. Melissa Ashley Wong. Senior coach and father of Andrew Wong, PTSD 1988. Also, Priscilla Wong.
Where is she?
Allison Leanne Yee. Super coach and mother, Leanne Quinn, UTSD 1995.
If we can, Dr. Buckley and Dr. Horowitz.
So as Dr. Valenza mentioned, we also have two students who will be entering our class of 2021. So it's my pleasure to introduce them at our white coat ceremony today. So first, Wrinkle Mayur. Pranjil Manchpara. I'd like to ask all of you, class of 2022-21, to stand up, turn around, wave. Let's congratulate. I'm now to invite Dr. Oh, sorry, you can be seated now. Pardon me. I'll now ask Dr. Greg Elke, USD alum from 1977 and president of the UTSD Alumni Association, to the podium to lead you in the Dentist Pledge. And you'll find the Dentist Pledge on the back of the program.
If I could just have a moment of privilege, I want to congratulate you all for being here at this time at this school. And hopefully you will grow to love this profession as much as we all have, that I've had the joy of enjoying for 45 years. Number two is, when I was in your position, Dr. Mitch Sarles, who was one of my mentors, and he was basically dentist everything, locally, statewide, nationally. He challenged us and he said, it is your duty and it is your obligation to leave this profession as good, if not better, than you found it. And I hope you carry that throughout your career. Number three, I would be remiss if I didn't express the pride that we have with our donors and with the Alumni Association and with the Alumni Association Foundation, making for 20 years this ceremony possible, and with the jackets that, white coats that we hope you will wear proudly. If you will all please rise. Students. It's okay. Again, everybody can. And if we could also have the dentists rise, if you would please renew your pledge. And if you would read along with me, I, as a member of the dental profession, shall keep this pledge and these stipulations. I understand and accept that my primary responsibility is to my patients, and I shall dedicate myself to render, to the best of my ability, the highest standard of oral health care and to maintain a relationship of respect and confidence. Therefore, let all come to me safe in the knowledge that their total health and well-being are my first considerations. I shall accept the responsibility that as a professional, my competence rests on continuing the attainment of knowledge and skill in the arts and sciences of dentistry. I acknowledge my obligation to support and sustain the honor and integrity of the profession and to conduct myself in all endeavors such that I shall merit the respect of patients, colleagues, and my community. I further commit myself to the betterment of my community for the benefit of all society. I shall faithfully observe the principles of ethics and code of professional conduct set forth by the profession. This I pledge with pride in my commitment to the profession and the public it serves. Again, congratulations.
Okay, you can be seated for just one moment. So I want to make a couple of quick announcements. So if you notice on the same back page of your program that we just did the dentist pledge from, at the very bottom, it mentions for you that photographs for today can be found on the Flickr account listed there. So those pictures that have been taken, you can go to the Flickr account. If you don't know how to do it, ask your student. They'll help you. Or if you're like me, you could ask your grandchild. They'd be able to help you. You'd be able to go find it. Again, sponsors for today's program are also listed on the back page. I'd encourage you, if you haven't been up to the fourth floor during today, please go to the fourth floor and visit our student organizations. This is a great opportunity for those of you family members, if you want to pick up some paraphernalia of some sort or kind of visit with our associations, they'll still be there and you can visit with them. Also, we still have a lot of refreshments out in the lobby area, so please help yourself to anything that's out there food-wise. I know the dean doesn't want anybody walking off with anything, so anything edible out there, if you want to partake, please do so. The last comment I want to make is just one to both, I'll start with family first and then the students. So family, the students heard me the other day speak about teamwork. And the one thing I want to mention to you is that how vital you as family, friends, husbands, wives, whatever the case may be, you play a very vital role in their progression going forward. If they tell you, mom and dad, that they can't come home some weekend because they have tests to study for, trust me, they're not trying to get out of coming home. This is a very rigorous process they're about to go through, and it's going to require a lot of work and effort from them. But it's interesting, Dr. Cooley and I can both tell you during the admissions process, one of the things we always hear from students in this process is that they want to be near family. So that said, it shows how much of a vital role you play and what's going to happen for them going these 4 years as they progress forward. So be patient, be understanding, because unless you've gone through this, it's very difficult to understand how much they really will be under the grind. It is an 8 to 5 process. Just being in school, that's not talking about after hours studying, lab work, different things they're going to be doing. So here's the time for definitely these next 4 years. They need your utmost support and everything you can give to them, and we know that you will. So thank you for doing a very vital part of that. Students, the one thing I'm reminding you about the teamwork part, something I think often gets overlooked in the process, and that's how much and how vital the patient role will be in this team that you're about to embark upon. It's very easy. The deans, this is one of the things he always likes to talk about, how we oftentimes are so stressed about procedures and numbers, and we sometimes forget that it's a human that we're treating. So don't ever forget the patient and the vital role they play in this, and all the things you've heard today, how you're going to provide the utmost and best care that you can for them. Because one of the other things you told us was not just about being near family, but how you wanted to get in a profession that helped people. You're about to embark upon that. And it's easy to kind of get that lost in the process, but don't. Remember, you came here to help people the rest of your career, not just these 4 years. So don't lose sight of that. And you all know, next week I'm going to ask, you making progress towards that DDS? You're going to tell me yes. All right. I'm going to ask that audience please remain seated. Dr. Cooley's going to take our white coat honorees and lead them out. After they've proceeded out, everyone is able to go and partake. Coders, we're going to go out to the front steps real quick. I guess the weather's still okay. We can go outside and take a photograph. We're going to take our white coat picture out on the front steps. Family, we're going to meet you back inside as soon as that's done. So thank you for attending the 2018 White Coat Ceremony.